Welcome back, everybody, as Quickshot and I are joined by Mr. Rawls. Quickshot, you've grown a little bit.
Yeah, I can't stand... I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. Anyways, your performance was as awesome as you are tall. It was great. Talk to me about picks and bans. Caitlyn was banned against you. They first picked Lucian. Yeah. How did you think? How did you react to that?
First, our plan was to give them a lease and then get Trish Wukong, or Lucian Wukong. But they kind of banned Caitlyn and reacted to it by panning one of the strongest champions against Wukong, and then pick Wukong and Trish. So yeah, it was pretty good. And then we wanted the Lissandra versus Trundle.
Yeah, tell me about that. A page out of Fnatic's book, but to greater success with the Lissandra top lane. How did that go throughout the game for you guys?
The game went pretty good. We wanted Lissandra against Trundle because Trundle can't really do anything against her. And we don't really have to focus on top lane because it's pretty safe. So we could just focus on Wukong ganking bot lane.
Well, it worked very well. Impala had some very good ganks. I was singing his praises during the match. Once we got to the mid game, you guys didn't let up the pressure. You kept finding team fights and picking them. Who was making those calls on your team?
It's mostly Impala. He's pretty much talking all the time. So yeah.
And is it something you guys have practiced in scrims? Because you always seem to have like the perfect combination of abilities. You always singled out targets from Alliance and chased down. You know, how have you practiced that?
Well, we've been practicing a lot by writing down every flash and barrier and so on, and then Impala making the last decision.
One of those decisions is, of course, when you go for Dragon. This game, you got 5 out of 5 Dragons. Yesterday, 0 of 4 versus the Copenhagen Wolves. Is it easier to force those objectives versus a team like Alliance?
Not really. Yesterday was because of our picks. We picked 3 losing lanes, so obviously we're going to lose the Dragon. While this game, we had 3 winning lanes. So.
Talk to me about the game yesterday, because you actually soloed an inhibitor while the rest of your team was sort of, baiting around Baron and playing that one. What was going through your mind, and how were you talking as a team at that moment?
Well, we tried fighting twice, and we realized that we couldn't really win a team fight or siege against them. So Mima could outscale Renekton, and then I could pretty much 1v1 everyone. So we just realized we should just split push.
Can you compare that and maybe mimic what happened in the team when Kayle went for the back door?
I pretty much said GG and then flashed because I thought it was over. But yeah, everyone got a heart attack.
How do you as a team react to something like that? I mean, what would you do better if the same situation were to occur in next week's game?
Well, pretty much just take a decision immediately. We said that we wanted to stay. Moop said he wanted to go back, and we hesitated quite a lot. And then when he said he was going to go back, he got stopped. So yeah, we should just take a decision immediately.
One last thing I wanted to ask you about the game is you going for the Jinx for the first time for you, and it was Reckless that told us, I don't really like to play her anymore. I don't think she works that well anymore. What's your opinion?
I kind of have the same opinion because of No Escape. But yeah, she's pretty good in some situations. I felt Jinx was better than Sivir in this game, so I just went for Jinx.
I definitely think that damage and the burst worked out in your favor. Yeah. Let's take a step back from the games for a moment and talk a little bit about Super Hot Crew. Are you guys working towards your gaming house? How is the training and the practicing for each week working out for you guys?
We've been boot camping in hotels and then go to the studio the last 2 weeks. But we got our house now. We sadly don't have PCs or internet yet, so we had to go to the studio, but it's better than nothing.
Working on that super hot house. And of course, you've been tweeting to us at LOL Esports because earlier we asked you which European LCS pros playstyle do you love the most and why? And here are some of your answers. The first one is from @TVSky, and we love your stuff, man. Arenea's aggression always entertains me, as well as his incredible battle cry when he goes for a kill.
He has an incredible battle cry. I do think it's going to be challenged by Mixer for who's got the best yell in the LCS, but it's great to see the passion shine through.
Tell me about that yell when you hear it. Do you just zone it out, or?
I don't know. I get a shock every time, so.
The second one is from @LucasODR. Candy Panda. He is performing super well. He's always in the right position in team fights, and his farm is impeccable. You've, of course, played against him already.
Yeah, he's really annoying to play against because he always split push, and he gets to farm in every lane. So every time I play against him, I get out-farmed, and I get flamed for it. But
he always split pushes from the AD that split pushed yesterday because you didn't want a team fight. Yeah, double standards.
The last one is from @Gregorak. I love the playstyle of Jankos, the perfect mixture of risk-taking, positioning, and mechanics. He always makes an impact in the game.
Summarized it perfectly. You know, we talked about Jankos yesterday. We talked about how great he is in the LCS. There was no hype around that player coming in, and consistently he's just showing how dominant he is on every single champion.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for those lovely answers. You've earned yourself a Heartseeker Ash skin code, so have fun breaking frozen hearts on the Rift. We still have more codes to give away, but for a chance to win, be sure to keep writing to us at LOL Esports using the hashtag LCS to share your thoughts on all of today's big plays and more. Thank you very much, guys. And now let's send it back over to our own two Heartseekers, D-Man and the Fisho.
Thank you very much, Shocks. I am Lady Man Smith, and I am joined here by the master of Blue Steel. It is Martin Deficio at Linger once again. So, coming up now, it is Fnatic taking on Millennium. Big game for these teams, of course. Both had a loss yesterday, and this is a rematch of Week 1, but a lot has changed for both of these teams since they're Fnatic. They started off, they went on a 7-0 win streak. Fantastic start. But now they've had a 4-game losing streak.
Exactly, and in the last game, Fnatic, they played like an all-in combo, which relied on the Wukong ultimate, we had the Lulu ultimate, and then going for the backline, and then having like Rumble ultimate coming in, and then LeBlanc picking up the low targets. It is actually a very strong combo if you are ahead once the team fights are starting, but due to them being, you know, even or behind, they didn't have enough damage. And also the combo itself, it requires so much coordination and pretty much perfect team fights. And I also have to question Cyanite's build just a little bit, because they didn't have a front line without him. Like, he was the only tank, and he decided to buy Black Cleaver that's 3,000 gold in a double AP combo. Like, his armor penetration is not going to do anything when they have the double AP. A tanky Wukong could have been a lot better.
So maybe just tunneling in a little bit too much on that build. And is it time that these guys, they fall back on the lane bull? Is this something they need to do to get the snowball going again? Because they just seem to be a little bit lost. When we heard them in the interviews, they still were a little unsure, even in the A block.
I feel that they need to just try and fall back to what they did the first weeks, because it worked. They had like the early dominance in the lanes. They had Renekton sometimes on Source, we had the Trundle, we had the Jinx on Reckless, and it actually made them win laning phase and then go into the mid game where they were ahead. If they can try this again, if it doesn't work for them, obviously they have other stuff they need to fix, but they can at least give this one a shot and see if they can snowball the game from there. And then we need Source to kind of step up his game again. He's been in a slump. His Rumble yesterday, it was a good pick, but he's played, it wasn't there. Like, simple as that. He missed a lot of ultimates, and he's actually been looking somewhat weak in the last few games.
And of course, yesterday, Millennium, well, they started out well, but they had next to no initiation in their team, and slowly but surely they just crumbled to Gambit's dominance.
Yeah, and I mean, that game for me was where Millennium has to say, we need to sound the alarm, because it is the same for them every single game. They go in there, they win the early game, and then once they get into the laning phase, out of the laning phase, they simply start losing. The individual play can't carry them into team fights. And in the last game versus Gambit, they won the early game once again from Aranir. He did a lot of good ganks and got everyone rolling. And then he built for a tank, more like teamfight based. And Gambit simply said, we're not going to teamfight you at all. We're just going to spread out on the map. And Millennium didn't have an answer due to the combo and due to the fact they didn't have any hard engage. So it was too easy for Gambit to just play them around. And then we had Kerr playing on 6. And that's not ideal champion for him. We've seen him on these assassins, and he's been having such a big impact on the games because he's winning the lane and then he's making plays all around. And that's also how Millennium have actually won games.
And you've always got to wonder about the hours that these guys play. Kerb coming on screen, yawning away there. So what exactly does this mean for Millennium? Because they really are in danger of just anchoring themselves at the bottom of the league right now. You can see they're down there actually with Alliance, because Alliance just lost that game. So now they're sort of on par with one another. But what are they going to do to start picking up wins?
They have to go back to what actually worked for them in the 3 wins they picked up, where they have this kind of pick combo with Kevin Split pushing in one lane, and then you have Kerb on either LeBlanc or some assassin where he can go around and kill people, and you have Creaton just farming up and being really strong once you get to the fights. And then you just need to keep this pick com going and avoid actually the big team fights, because every time they team fight, it doesn't go too well for them.
Well, luckily we managed to speak to the players earlier on, and Fnatic's game plan for this match involves shutting down the aggression of Aranea. Early jungle game aggression, which he tries to do. But of course, the guys at Millennium, well, they've been on the lookout for those famous Fnatic 4-1 splits.
Millennium is a team that is weird to play against. I don't think they are like the best in strategy, but their early game is super aggressive.
Fnatic is famous for his like lane swap and stuff, just like roaming. There's a point that Soa just don't care about farming anymore and just like try to go somewhere just to kill. I think Arana mostly super aggressive, and since he's the jungler, he makes the team go aggressive as well.
He also has this mentality that he likes to make the calls and make plays, and he's not scared to fail because sometimes he makes plays that go pretty bad for his team. But still, that doesn't stop him from doing it again and doing it fine, and it works out sometimes, sometimes not.
They have a style like a 4v1 style. It's like they try to roam always 4 guys, meanwhile like Reckless is just like farming all the time, all the game long. Sometimes Arana is just gonna go to your lane at level 3 and dive and give you double buff, so it's cool sometimes.
And this really is the problem that Millennium do have sometimes. Sometimes the aggression that Arana has is fantastic. Sometimes it just backfires horribly.
And that's the thing, he plays this very risky game. And again, if it works, they win the early game and they can kind of snowball. If not, they kind of lose a lot from it.
Yeah, it could go wrong. Let's check out those starting lineups. On the blue side, it is Fnatic. In the top lane is Soaz. Cyanide in the jungle. Peke, the mid lane, is going to try and step up his game today. Reckless, the AD carry, and Yellowstar is support.
And on the red side, we have Millennium with Kevin in the top lane, Aranea in the jungle, Kerb in the mid lane, Creaton as the AD carry, and Jiri on support.
So we're about to move into the picks and bans. What are we expecting to see coming out from this one? We just saw double AP comp actually working out this time around. The Sandra being pulled out by Mima in the top lane. Is this something Soaz can play?
I think, yeah, and he actually played it last split as well. He was one of the big AP top laners, so he can definitely play this and he can pull it out. I think if they want to do this, they need to ban out, for instance, like the Lucian from Creaton, because he's been playing quite a lot and he's very mobile. And also maybe take away something like a Caitlyn for themselves, and then force him on Jinx or Vayne maybe, something like, you know, which kind of have a low range, and then try and get him and get the kill.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The bans coming in thick and fast. Evelyn and Yasuo being banned out by Fnatic, and Kassadin, of course, being removed once again. Sad face for Kassadin this split so far. No chance that he's been able to sneak through. Just once, I believe it was. LeBlanc also being taken away, so kind of a standard champions, and also focused a little on Arana.
I like the fact they actually respect the Evelyn pick from yesterday and simply just ban it away. They don't want to deal with this early game pressure Evelyn brings, and they don't want to be forced into more or less a lane swap, which is the counter to Evelyn early game. The LeBlanc ban, kind of hitting yourself in the foot because you have Kerb, who's been playing a lot of LeBlanc and loves to play it, but you want to take it away from Fnatic, and you want to avoid them actually early picking it.
Well, Pantheon also being removed, so Arana has 2 focused champions on Arana. That's a bit of respect coming out from Fnatic. Of course, Millennium themselves, well, we know Arana has a lot of respect for Peke. He really wants them playing in every position, and Kale is going to be removed there. So first pick, of course, while it's available for Cyanide, it's going to be Elise.
And it's going to be Elise. We've talked about it every single time, how strong Elise is, and how she fits in every single combo you can actually play. You don't show anything by early picking it, because she works in Siege, she works in counter engage, she works in absolutely everything. And the fact they ban away the Pantheon, again, they want to make sure that Aranea can have as much early game pressure as he needs to, or at least force him on something where they think they can punish him. Could maybe be this Lee Sin that he is hovering over.
Well, it's going to be switched across at the moment, so they're going to go for the Jura lane. They want to lock in Creaton and Jerry. We've seen Jerry pulling off some amazing Thresh pulls at the moment, so we'll see how it works out for him, and of course Creaton taking that Lucian.
And I like the Lucian pick because Reckless loves to play Caitlyn, and again the pick you want to have against Caitlyn, because you can farm and you can do fairly well against her in the lane, is the Lucian one. So they simply lock it away instantly. The Fresh pick, we saw him last game on Mixer, how many plays you can make. We have seen Jiri beforehand also do this, where he like flash hooks, he sets up a lot of kills. So I like actually the fact they go with this, and it signals to me they want to make sure the bot lane is winning.
Some fast picks actually coming out from Fnatic. They're locking in the Gragas and the Caitlyn, so making sure they get those 2 in there. So Caitlyn, this is going to be Reckless once again, choosing to ignore Jinx.
Yeah, but once again, he doesn't like Jinx, he doesn't feel comfortable playing her in teamfights because there's too many things you can get to him. And now he's kind of blind picking it because you haven't seen the rest of Millennium's lineup, so he doesn't know if they're going to pick, for instance, a Fizz that can really get to Jinx. Caitlyn is a lot more safe. Gragas, we have seen him play Gragas top lane. Expected to be mid lane on Peke though, going back to what really worked for him beforehand, where he was always dominating the lane on the Gragas, and he could then, you know, snowball that into teamfights.
Well, you say that, this could be Soaz again.
Oh yeah, I said as well, it could be Soaz,
Yeah.
but I'm expecting Pekka.
So we've seen the Fizz being picked in. Fizz, by the way, was played by Nuke in the semi-finals. If you didn't see it, fantastically well. So really pulling that Fizz back in. Nuke was famous for it in the summer, and of course tried it in the World Championships. Didn't work out so well. Fizz has been one of those champions that can really snowball heavily, and of course the Lee Sin also was locked in for an RNA.
Yeah, so we have the early game aggression, jungle-wise for Anir, and we have the assassin on Curb. He needs to win this 1v1 versus Pekka in the mid lane. It's going to be pretty hard, especially if it is Gragas, because he's very tanky, he has a lot of good poke, and he's fairly good at dealing with the Fizz. So unless we see Anir having a lot of focus on it, I think it's going to be more farm-based in the mid lane. But Kirby really needs the kills so he can rotate around the map and make plays.
Well, Soaz was being pretty vocal about this tanky build setups, but he is locked in on Renekton, and it's going to be a Leona being chosen for Yellowstar.
And notice what Fnatic have done now. They've gone back to the strong lanes. We have the Gragas, very strong lane, and we have the Renekton, who more or less wins every single 1v1 matchup top lane. So I'm really happy to see them fall back on this. Okay, there's no Jinx, but Caitlyn, she's also there to dominate the lane. She doesn't pick up the kills, but she's at least dominating and out-farming her opponent. So Fnatic has really gone back to the strong early game, and I like that. Scaling-wise though, the team from Millennium side is going to do really, really well in the late game. Fizz is going to be an absolute monster if he gets to his like 4 or 5 item point. And also we have seen Trundle beforehand, how strong he is late game. He's taking the stats away from Soaz, so just going to be even more tanky.
Yeah, of course, that Trundle was a champion. We saw Wicked just playing in the previous game. Of course, it was very different. We have seen this matchup a number of times. What do we make from these two teams now? You mentioned Fnatic going back to the roots, going back to what worked for them, what got them 7 wins.
Yeah, and what I like about the Fnatic combo as well is if you win the early game, you have a lot of siege potential, you have a lot of wave clear with the Caitlyn and the Gragas, so you can more or less, we have actually seen Source build Blade of the Rune King Renekton before and just split pushing. So they can do this where they keep him top lane, he's gonna split push all he wants, and you have the rest of the team in the mid lane just constantly shoving up, forcing the Fizz to either CS on the turret or actually you're more or less going for the kill from Millennium side, and then you pick the fight.
Well, fantastic stuff. We'll see how this works out for them. And of course, we want to know what you guys at home have been voting. Let's check out those votes to see who you pick to win. It looks like Fnatic are going to lead the charge. 87% of the votes being picked up for you guys. Massive, massive vote lead there for Fnatic. And not surprising, really, either, coming into this one.
Not really. I mean, Millennium, they haven't looked very good so far in the season. Fnatic, yes, they're on the losing streak, but we know they're still a good team. And we know, or at least feel, it's just a matter of time before they get the win they need, get the confidence back, and really start performing as Fnatic we know. So I will agree with this vote. And setup-wise, if Fnatic can manage to close out the game before we go really, really late, I feel like they're going to be in a great position.
Well, we will see, ladies and gentlemen, the game is ready, and we are moving into it. Starting off as the blue side, it is going to be Fnatic. Let's see if they can break that losing streak. And of course, Millennium as the red team anchored on the bottom of the league right now and really desperately trying to find a win in week 5.
Notice how Curb, he's starting with the Flask as his first item because he knows he's going to be able, or he's going to get a lot of poke from Pekka. He doesn't really have the chance to poke back unless he wants to all into the face of Pekka. So very smart of him, getting the Flask, making sure he can sustain himself and get the farm he needs.
We also see Yellowstar starting off with the medallion rather than going for the Doran's Blade, Doran's Shield, sorry, which has almost become a standard for supports these days.
Yeah, so he has the Relic Shield. It means he's going to have wave control because he can decide to either push the wave by going in and popping the Execute on some minions, and also he's, he has some good tank stats from it, and he can upgrade it later on into, is it the Heart of the Mountain? Which basically is going to work against Fizz. Face of the mountain, sorry. You got me there. But that's going to work against Fizz, because Fizz want to all-in someone. If you pop the shield on this target, you can kind of save them.
We'll see how it works out. Of course, the fact that there is the Crystalline Flask up against Doran's Ring in that mid lane as well. Going to have a slight advantage for Peke, but we'll see whether Kirby just needs to sustain himself on that turret.
We have to keep an eye on the bot lane, though.
I want to just draw your attention to what is happening here. Fnatic, knowing what Millennium do. If you think back to the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo, they got caught out in a very similar situation. I think it was Seven Walls that maybe did it. I'm not too sure whether Seven Walls or Pain that did the exact same thing and caught out for Millennium. Millennium didn't do it though, so for once they've been very passive in level 1.
They actually didn't do it yesterday either. It seems they've gone a little bit away from this level 1 tactic because now teams have figured it out. And Fnatic was in a great position if Millennium had walked in with maybe the fresh first to try and land a hook and then just instantly burst them down and get the kill.
We are moving into the lane phase. It is going to be standard starts out actually for both of these junglers. As I say that, it's only getting help on the red buff, getting leashed out there. Cyanide had no help, and we also saw Soaz. He snuck away the wolves as well, so he's going back to that top lane. He's already got, I'd tell a light. He didn't take any experience, he didn't take him.
Now the reason Sana didn't get any help is because you need to be in your bottom lane at 155, otherwise the other bot lane can just start shoving it out and forcing you to fall behind on XP, and once they hit the level 2 mark and you're still level 1, you just have to walk down to your turret and just wait for the minions because there's nothing else you can do.
So what's Peke going to level up here against the Fizz? Is he going to go, like, maybe get the barrel out there? Is he going to go for the Drunken Rage? Is he maybe want the stats to just help out that burst that Fizz can put out?
He's going to do standard first up to level 4 where he has the body slam, and then, level 3, sorry, I can see Yellowstar going very aggressive.
Very deep stuff there, and he's going to get hooked back in. That means Kraton will turn the damage back around again. Yellowstar taking some sort of unnecessary damage, going a little too deep.
Now Peggy, he's obviously going to max his barrel roll just for more harass for the wave clear. He could have opted to start for body slam if he really wanted to be aggressive at level 1, but he didn't really have to, so he's been going more the safe route, and he's just going to farm and shove Curb down all the time.
See how he goes at the moment. It is all as standard. 2 CS being picked up by Yellowstar here. This is because obviously the shield that he has on there, making sure that the gold transfers. This is what you do with a relic shield.
That's the thing, and we need to really keep an eye on his CS and not only look at the AD carries, because he's going to actually pick up quite a lot through this laning phase, and he's going to give some bonus CS, and also again, look how it helps them control where the wave is in the lane. They're not going to get shoved down by this Lucian and Fresh.
Yeah, it gives exactly the same, obviously, to your AD carry as well. So it's a big bonus in that lane phase, so we'll start stacking that gold. And you can see really what it means already. Just look at the gold. You can see there's 200 gold differential already stacking out here because he's actually used it on the season.
Yeah, he's been getting the gold from this one. If we notice something else on the map though, jungle-wise, we have he's going in again.
Oh, tries to go in, but quick flay coming out from JV. Now throws out the death sentence. Reckless sidesteps it out there, not going to land on it.
And once again, Fnatic has been able to get the early level 3 compared to the level 2 on Millennium because they could control the wave. Source, he's very far pushed up right here. Aranea is waiting in the wings, and Cyanide, he's far, far away.
Let's see if he can get in there. He has got the double buff on. He's going to rotate in towards Soaz. Has waited here. Is not going to land the Q. And Soaz dodging everything nicely.
Yeah, very nice by Source. Curb actually going aggressive on Peg in the mid lane.
Going to try and turn it. Some urchin strikes landing on Peke there. Getting a good poke back and forth. And Curb coming out on top.
And a lot of early game action here. Curb is doing really well CS-wise. Actually keeping completely even. Obviously the Flask is going to help him sustain quite a lot. Cyanide, he's going to go for this Wolf camp because he knows Aranea was top lane, so he's not nearby. And maybe he's actually going to wait afterwards with the ward and try and catch him out.
So try to start that off. You can see that Aranea is close by. Aranea actually coming into the wolves any moment now, but Cyanide's hit and run, taking that big wolf, and he's getting straight away from that one. Aranea is going to come in and find himself empty.
And they spot out Aranea here, they ping him out, they know exactly where he was. Aranea also know that Cyanide was just at his wolf camp because it was moving back to its starting position. So both junglers or both teams know where the enemy jungler is.
Gives them that little bit of information. Looking at this top lane pairing, Kevin taken very low. Oh, he's going to dive towards the tower. Has he got enough? Has he used the Ignite? I think the Ignite should do it on Kevin. One more tower hit. No, hasn't quite got enough.
But he still has to recall, so Source manages to get him away from the turret and let him lose this entire wave here. So he's going to be behind in CS, behind in XP. Kevin has his teleport, he can go back to the lane with that one, but that means he will be down and Fnatic will have the timer.
Some countering coming out from Aranea. You can see he's taking the wolves in that bottom lane away from Cyanide. So, sorry, the golems away from him, making sure he does counter-strike back on towards that gold. We'll see whether he sticks around, see whether he goes in towards that bottom lane. So as meanwhile in this top lane, Kevin has teleported in towards the top, so he's gone back, got himself that chain vest.
But it's going to be a very hard gang for Aranea in the bot lane because Reckless and Yellowstar have an idea he's there, so they already move back. They're not taking any chances with the hook from Jiri. Now they have a good wave coming in. They can actually decide to more or less freeze this wave and just wait for the rest of them to calm down. Meanwhile, Millennium starts the dragon.
There's going to be the dragon started off. We'll see whether they conclude. You can see that Yellowstar and Reckless are coming in there, and well, they are going to disrupt it nicely there. That's going to give Millennium food for thought, and they're going to back off.
I actually like the move by Millennium because of how passive Fnatic was standing in the lanes, and also Peke was actually missing in the mid lane, so I think they thought he was recalled, and that's why they went for it.
And then you see Yellowstar once again using that relic shield, making sure he gets that extra gold, gives it across the Reckless at the same time. He's with 8 CS now, so that's going to continue as the game progresses.
Yeah, it actually means that Reckless is quite far ahead. Or not quite far, but he's at least ahead like CS-wise due to the relic shield CS. Cyanide going towards the top lane. This time they can dive him, and Source has his ultimate.
Yeah, so has also gone for that pickaxe as well, so he's going to be trying to put more damage down. We do see just waiting in the wings. Here comes Peke as well. This is going to be a 3-man pylon on top. Millennium in all sorts of trouble. Kevin's not going to be able to fight this one out. He's going to tank it as long as he can. Soaz is going to back away. Explosive Cast keeps him pinned where he stands. Belly Slam comes in there. They're trying to trade once again. Have they got enough? Aranea comes in. He comes in, locks on there. First blood did go to Soaz, but a good counter from Aranea. They haven't got the follow-up support though because Kerp didn't come.
No, but Kevin managed to stay alive for such a long time due to his ultimate and due to the fact his pillar was blocking him from actually moving in there. Cyanide had to repel, did no damage with it because he's up in the air to reset the tower aggro, or he would have died earlier. It meant that Aranea could move up there and actually get a revenge kill and trade 1 for 1.
I'm interested in how that one worked out. As you know, as a team, I'd like to see my mid lane, especially if Peke goes up there, I'd like to see my mid laner follow him because that was a full-on pylon. He has got a good bit of damage on towards his middle turret. They can see half the hit points already taken off it.
Now, Kerp didn't have vision on Peke when he moved out. There was no ward, so he might not have seen him actually. What he did, he didn't know where he was, so he didn't want to go out there. Oh, who coming on Yellow Star?
Hook on towards Yellow Star is going to get followed through. Kraton trying to put some of that damage down quickly, puts that shield on him, and that will cover off the damage. This time Kerp is roaming, he's heading south, he's just going to ward out that dragon.
Smart enough though, making sure that if there should be a pink ward outside of this river area here, it won't spot this this green ward because it's around the corner, so it's actually a very smart ward to make sure Fnatic is not trying anything.
Jamie trying to zone out Fnatic here down this bottom lane. You can see him winding up that hook. He's ready and waiting to throw out that death sentence. If he can land it on towards Reckless at any time soon, he's just going to lash it on towards Yellowstar. We're going to bully him back out there. Yellowstar himself, you can see that glowing orb going around in that relic shield, ready and waiting to try and hit one of those minions. And he's going to just save it, I feel, once again for that siege minion. That's what he seems to be keeping it for at the moment.
But it's actually a funny state we're in bot lane wise. None of them really feel like they have the damage to all in each other, so they're just more or less farming away, trying to poke a little bit. Obviously Yellowstar has to all in to do any damage, but he's also very tanky if he should be caught by Jiri. So none of them really feel confident in fighting, and they're just happily farming away.
So Peke takes the blue buff, and you can see the blue buff already also spawned over for Millennium. Expect to see Kerp heading this way in a moment. Explosive Cask is available. Peke isn't going to try and come and intercept it. Instead, he's just going to let Kerp hop, skip, and jump over there. Playful Trickster on towards the blue buff, no problem there. So everything all smooth sailing. Let's look at this top lane because Kevin's been back, he's gone for that little bit of armor, he's got those 2 Doran's items and the chain vest, but so as a game, going towards that Tiamat, it's almost becoming a standard for the Renekton's.
And the Tiamat gives him, oh, fish from Kerp, almost hitting his face, he managed to body slam out. But Tiamat going into the Hydra is a very normal build now because it gives you a lot of split pushing potential, also gives you very good damage you can do onto Kevin here. The chain vest is going to help him a lot though. Now we see Aaron here walking down to bot lane.
He's coming down, trying to set this one up, it's going to be the fly, oh, Reckless flashed out of it, so Yellowstar's going to be the next focus,
nice.
But uses Aranea nicely. Beautiful work there. Zenith Blade onto Aranea just gets him out of the danger.
Yeah, such a smart play, and it meant that he got kicked into his own turret and therefore was pretty safe. He had to flash the hook though, he didn't feel confident enough that he could dodge it. Meanwhile though, Millennium is starting the dragon.
Yeah, I think they just caught a glimpse of Cyanide in the top lane as well, so Kevin's going to keep them busy while the rest of Millennium do take this dragon. This will be the first one for Millennium. Successful dragon attempt. Took them 2 goes. They got her in the end.
And Fnatic, they want to get his top turret and just trade, turret for dragon. And also Peke was pushing the mid turret. I'm not sure he actually got too much damage on it, but at least he got some pressure.
And just to show you exactly why Soaz didn't last hit that turret, wants to just make sure all of those minions get taken down. Kevin has no minions to pick up there, just making sure the tower takes down any minion, taking away every little gold advantage.
Exactly, I mean, and also at the same time he wants to make sure the lane is not pushing too much in favor of Millennium, so he has to overextend himself too much, because Aaron here, now there's no dragon, he can safely go top lane, because he's not going to lose anything anywhere else on the map, so he can just keep walking top now and try and gank Source.
That's exactly what he's doing, but the ward from Soaz is going to catch him out there. We do see Kevin's going to land. The kick did actually come in towards it. Aranea is going to lock in towards him. Has to pop that Dominus. He has got the Tiamat. Can he focus on towards him? Aranea taken very low. Does not want to follow that one on his own. And Soaz will walk off.
And very nice by Source that he's actually focusing his damage onto Aranea, who's a lot more squishy than Kevin. Oh, scumbag Pecker.
Making sure he didn't go for it. Didn't go all in there. Didn't use his explosive cast. Didn't try and blow everything on towards him instead. Just used that balance. No, I'm not really going to let you off there. But I'm not too sure Kerp actually wanted to go back. He's got the blue buff. He was fully stacked on health. I think it was a more of a bait of his own.
Yeah, definitely. He does have quite a lot of gold though, so he could go back. He want to complete his early Lich Bane, which gives him a lot of burst potential. It gives him a lot of early game damage. So getting the Lich Bane from him. Oh, going on Kraton.
Kraton has been focused here. This time he could get locked up nicely by Yellowstar. There's going to be the Solar Flare. Kraton just dodges straight out of it. Cyanide's coming back down. He's going to get spotted out by that ward, and we see Millennium backing off quickly.
Again, nice engage actually from Yellowstar here, getting a lot of poke onto Kraton. He still has his barrier, so he's not afraid of dying yet. But Cyanide is coming in.
Cyanide comes around the side there. Yellowstar uses the Zenith Blade on towards J-Ree. Have they got enough? Soaz came straight down there as well. That's going to be one. Can they make more of this one? Soaz on towards J-Ree. They're going to try and turn it back around. Kevin's teleported down here now. We also have Kerp joining the party as well. Yellowstar going to get locked up. I don't think he's going to be able to survive this one. Who will pick up the kill? That's the question. They want to give it across to Kraton. He will take it down eventually once he gets in towards that bush. There he is. Now we see Kerp. He's come down there. Everybody else from Fnatic backing off. A 1-for-1 trade.
So once again, they trade 1-for-1. Everyone was in this one. Kerp was running there. We also had Pega trying to run down. None of them was actually close enough, but they were nearby for if something else should have happened. So wisely enough, both teams to try to back off. Fnatic, they got the kill they needed, but they were too far in. They couldn't actually back out. And now Kerp harassing Pega a little bit.
Quick bit of a urchin strike on towards Peke, making sure he just gets his attention. And then backs away, chugs on that potion to make sure he gets some of that mana back. Peke himself, well, he feels he needs to take those wraiths away from Cyanide, who I don't think was too happy about that. Make sure he sticks around. Nah, this is my goal. I am the jungler after all. Peke is just going to take a little bit more. This time around, Kerp is going to go all in. Cyanide is there to join the party as well. Peke is not going to go down. Instead, it's going to be Kerp. Tries to playful trickster, but the Ignite takes him down on the pole.
Very nice bait actually by Pega. He goes straight in there, gives Kerp the opportunity to put down his ultimate on him because he knew Cyanide was there, and he instantly shot him back, and Cyanide joined in and they managed to pick up the kill. And Source, he's still in the bot lane.
Goes aggressive on towards J-Ree, flashes out of the Solar Flare there. Did get stunned and locked up briefly by Soaz, but they are just going to be able to back off from this one. This will be the tower for Fnatic.
They can at least go for this one because Millennium have to back off. Nobody is moving down because Kerp is dead. Trundle is in the top lane, and obviously Aranea can't do anything to defend this turret. So very nice play. Source actually been staying around this bot lane for quite a while.
So let's have a look at how the game stands currently. It's a 3,000 gold advantage, or almost 2,000 gold advantage by Fnatic. And you can see in terms of towers, of course, they have those two towers. So money in the bank still technically for Millennium. They did take that dragon down. You can see at the moment with Peke starting to roam. This is what we've mentioned many times for Alex and for Kerp. Going back to Assassins, it's what these mid laners do best in Europe. Yeah,
and generally something where you can have more impact than just sitting in your lane farming is what we want to see from the European mid laners, and it's also why all the strongest ones at least are playing that kind of style. And we see also when Alex is playing for Gambit and he has this impact, Gambit always win.
It is going to be the mid lane that may well go down. They can't quite get the last few hits on it. We do see in the top lane though, Soaz getting locked up here. Hasn't got dominance available either. He has got an Ignite and a Flash, but I don't think he's going to be able to get away. We do see Millennium. They're going to have to follow him through here. Aranea is going to come through. This will be Kevin coming in there, and Aranea closes out the kill.
And once again, because the dragon is not up, Aranea is in this top lane area, and as soon as he spots Soaz out, he wants to go for the kill, and now they're going for this blue buff.
Well, Cyanide not going to land the kick on him. It will be a full invade. Peke is going to have that barrel that's still in there. It hasn't exploded it yet, so he's waiting to see if he can try and steal this one away. Explosive Cask also available. Did he get it? No, he didn't. Aranea closes it out with the smite.
And very nice aggressive play by Millennium. They get the one kill, and then they just keep going from there. They don't stop, they don't back off. They know the blue buff was spawned, and they can walk down and just take it away from Fnatic.
Yeah, more importantly, Kerp, of course, picking up his own blue buff as well, so they're making sure they don't trade that one away. Reckless in danger here. Yellowstar's backing off in the bush.
Oh, he stopped it.
Cancels it away there. Doesn't follow through instead. Reckless, he should be safe with his support alongside him, but Kerp really fancies this.
But it's very hard for Leona to actually lock down Fizz due to the fact he can jump around. So it can be very hard for him to land the ultimate unless he can walk in, get the Q stun onto Kerp, and they can, more or less kill him from that.
He's going to see if they follow through. Instead, he's happy to just take the wave, playful trickster and urchin strike across them. And now we are back to square one. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds time. Will we see our first 5v5?
And look at the vision control Fnatic just put up here. The 2 wards means that if Millennium is engaging from this area, they have full vision on them, they can land a long range engage from Yellowstar and then follow it up with the Gragas barrel and start the fight that way. So it's very nice vision they have, and if they can deny some vision from Millennium now, they can actually be in a very, very good position for this fight.
Well, Fnatic are going to be the 5 that try and get in position for this one. Millennium are closing that gap, closing that net all around them. Barrel landing on towards J-Ree. Looks like Fnatic may start this one off. Pink ward put in the right place to find out that ward in that corner there. It It's going to be Millennium looking to try and close in the gap. Ace in the Hole's going to get used, but Playful Trickster dodges it straight out.
And just due to the ward they have up here, they have full vision of Curb. They can see when he actually wants to go in and try and throw his fish, so they know exactly when Millennium wants to engage.
Look at Soaz trying to zone him out. Peke trying to get that belly slam down on towards him. Cocoon doesn't find his target either. This time a barrel does land nicely there. The Dragon down to half health. They're going to keep on pushing this one. There's a Piltover coming across there. Solar Flare's going to get used. Curb does manage to use that flash. That goes straight on towards Reckless. Reckless is zoned out of this one. Curb in all sorts of trouble. He gets focused down, but it is going to be RNA that picks up the kill on Soaz and takes the Dragon. Millennium ain't running now. They're trying to escape from this one. Reckless gets one kill. Kraton going to be the next focus. Barrel will land. Can they get the damage down? The Cocoon will be up in just a moment's time. It is going to be the Zenith blade on towards Kevin, but the turret is doing damage on Kevin. They Peke, sorry, and they do get away from this one. It's a 2-for-1 trade, but Millennium got the Dragon.
Millennium got the Dragon, so it's actually worth it for them. If we look at the fight itself though, Curb, he came in from the side, had full vision on him when he threw in the fish, so Peke, he just backed out instantly and helped Reckless kill him. And meanwhile, yes, we did have swords going down, but they managed to pick up a revenge kill onto Millennium, and all in all, teamfight-wise, in favor of Fnatic, but due to the Dragon, Millennium actually comes out on top.
And I would also argue the fact that those kills went onto RNA. This is, while you can always argue it's great getting kills on your jungler, I would much rather have them on, say, the 0-2-0 Curb on Fizz, or maybe the AD carry of Creator.
On generally just spread out on your entire team, like we see in Fnatic, every single one has picked up a kill. He gives them quite a good, a power spike. And as you mentioned yourself, Lee Sin, he's not scaling damage-wise too well into the late game. He brings a lot of utility, he can be a great tank, but damage-wise he's not going to bring anything, so him getting these kills is just going to make him a lot more tanky, but that's about it for now.
Millennium needs to start getting some of these turrets down. You see that again. They're just kind of in that situation of the game where Millennium coming out of lane phase, they just don't transition very well, and Fnatic have a clear goal. They know what they want to go for.
Well, yeah, Fnatic know what they want to go for. Obviously, it was the Dragon before, but I actually have to give some credit to Millennium. They've been playing this laning phase and transition into mid-game fairly well. They've punished Source every time he overextended in the top lane and also took down a blue buff for it. And all in all, they're actually keeping up fairly well with Fnatic.
Well, Peke doesn't seem too worried about Curb. Curb's the one that's backing away from this fight, doesn't really want a part of that. And of course, you can see the Athenes has been completed. Rabadon's death cap on its way for Peke. Meanwhile, Curb went for that early Lich Bane. As you mentioned, a hook on towards Reckless. This could be something they follow through on, but instead choose wisely to back away because Yellowstar and Cyanide just standing in the wings.
And now Reckless, he keeps his small CS lead due to the Relic Shield on Yellowstar, but all in all though, the bottom has been very, very passive. We haven't seen too much action before actually the rest of the teams decided to come down and fight for it and took the turret in Fnatic's favor. But so far, both AD carries have been farming fairly well, and they want to go into this mid-game being equally strong.
Renee using that smite, making sure he takes away that Wraith from Soaz. Soaz himself has got that Tiamat completed. He's going to maybe head towards the Hydra instead, takes a little bit of damage, and that's the third outer turret of the game now. Fnatic successfully taking over objectives, and you immediately see Soaz saying, I'm going to run straight top, don't want Kevin taking that turret.
And Aaron actually is following him, he just safeguarded to this ward. He want to try and stop Source from going there so Kevin can take down the turret, and once again they can trade turret for turret.
Aaron successfully dodging out the way of the stun. This time around they are going to try and focus on him. Soaz is not going to land it. Solar Flare flashed out off by Jerry in the mid lane. Peke was ready and waiting to follow through. This could be the first turret for Millennium here, and Aaron actually using his ultimate kick there to keep Soaz away from it. They will finish this one off.
Aaron he did every single thing he could to stop Source from coming up there in time, and he actually managed to delay him so much that Kevin could take the turret down, and it was a very nice move. Also, I like actually the rotation from Fnatic in the first place. They spotted Kevin top lane, and also the new Fist was spot, so they just instantly moved 4 people in there and took the turret. And oh, Peke almost all the way to blue.
Yeah, didn't get it, and he's been without that blue for a while. Curb, of course, did take away the last one. Kraton does take away that second turret, and this is what I was talking about for Millennium. Gold in the bank. Those outer turrets starting to crumble, and you can see it's now just 1,000 gold between them. That is just that bottom outer turret, and it will be all square this match.
Yeah, and again, credit to Millennium. They keep taking the small things Fnatic actually want to give them. This time, mid turret was left undefended. It was already low from before, so 2 people simply went in and picked it up for free. And meanwhile, we see Curb, he just keeps trying to farm. He's a bit behind Xpeke, but he wants to do everything he can now to just constantly farm for the next 10-15 minutes and get really, really strong.
Sunfire Cape's picked up by both the top laners. No surprises there. And we'll see how they transition into the game. Kevin, well, we saw him yesterday on Shen. He was actually picking up kills as well with that Stand United coming in late and closing out the kills. But as it stands, he's just got those 4 assists, exactly what you want for that top laner. Just keep that gold ticking for him, keep him well fed. While Soaz himself on the tank, which we haven't seen for a while, to be fair, 1-2-2.
Well, he is building, you know, somewhat offensive because, again, he want to be a presence in this split pushing. He want to be able to duel Kevin for as long as possible. Once again, we hit the late game mark, then Trundle will be out dueling Renekton, but building this Hydra he's gonna complete next time he goes back is actually gonna give him, or extend the time he can duel Trundle for a long time, and it's gonna give him a lot of, you know, both damage in team fights, but also just generally just split pushing presence.
Well, speaking of split pushing presence, of course, Kevin has the teleport, so it's something that he's almost certainly going to be looking to do. You can see second item, Bilgewater Cutlass going in there, going to go for that Blade of the Rune King. So he's going to be trying to do just exactly the same thing. So as, of course, with the Flash Renekton, Flash Ignite, kind of a standard for Renektons.
And that's the thing that's in favor of Millennium, because notice how Source, instantly after he went back, or instantly after he pushed the wave out, he's now been going down to Dragon because it's going to be spawning in here the next 30 seconds. He's forced to do this because he doesn't have the teleport. Kevin, on the other hand, he can just continue farming away because he has the chance to teleport down.
Solar Flare coming in, but quickly safeguarded out by Aranea. That ultimate is not available in the next 30 seconds, so we're going to keep our eye on how this is going to work out. Millennium know that that's just been used. They're going to want to force the fight on Dragon.
And they really want to force this one because they have actually spotted through the wards that Source has been moving towards now his own top lane. He did decide to turn back. Again, they have full vision in this mid area, so they can see everything Fnatic is moving around. And they want to set up the fight, and this time they got the vision control.
Kevin as well, he's taking away the blue while this happens, so he's making sure they take every objective away from Fnatic. Dragon down to half hit points. They're actually instead going to turn. They're going to try and push for that inner turret. Millennium are ready and waiting to cut them off here. Fnatic going to try and keep them at bay. Have they got the damage? Teleport coming in from Kevin. He's just taken the blue buff. He's happy to come in and play defensive. Has Reckless got enough? He's going to stick around. Is it going to be too long? That's the question. They're going to try and focus in towards him. You can see Aranea, he gets locked up. He really wanted to get the kick on towards Reckless. Instead, Soaz turns him through. Fnatic just melting down throughout the Millennium team. We do see Kurt picking up a kill on towards Peke. Can they turn this one on its head? Is Reckless doing all the damage? Kevin's found him. He's going on towards it. Kurt finds on towards it. The barriers. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. He goes down. And now the AD carries. They see support versus support. Top laner versus top laner. How's this one going to play out? Kevin chomping his way through the hit points of Soaz there. Lantern being thrown out for extra shield from J-Reed. He's going to have his resets back up there. Comes in, flays both members of Fnatic. We do see Kevin. He's going to flash for this one. Gets on towards Soaz. The Pillar of Ice comes down. Chops his way through Soaz's hit points and closes him down. A 4-for-3 exchange. Crazy fight between two teams.
Yeah, such a messy fight. It actually starts out by Aranea jumping into the backline of Fnatic. He wanted to kick Reckless back. It didn't work for him. He instantly died for it. But meanwhile, Kevin was just being such a bully. And notice the fight here. Notice Aranea up here to the top. He goes in for Reckless. He's not able to get him due to stun from Yellow Star. But this means that Fnatic is putting 3 people on killing Aranea. So there's actually a 4v2 scenario down here for Millennium side. And they managed to get the kill on Peke due to a nice ultimate from Curve. And then they, you know, turn into this 3v3 scenario here. And here we see why Trundle is so strong. He's going to be able to pretty much stay alive here, spam away his damage, and due to Curve flashing, queuing into Reckless, they get the kill they need. And from here on, there's really nothing they can do in this 2v2 scenario for Fnatic side because Trundle is so strong with his single target damage.
Just biting his way through and finally closes out that fight, of course, with them chompers. Now Reckless, oh, he's been caught out. Aranea is on him, and you can see Kevin's going to be joining the party as well. Kerp is just below. You got nowhere to go here, Reckless. He just gets followed through by that kick. He may well be able to solo out Aranea here. Aranea is having to use that safeguard. They're just going to chase him through. The rest of Fnatic are coming, closing in the gap. Ace in the hole comes through. Kerp gets in there just in time. Reckless still not gone down. The rest of Fnatic closing the gap here. Grayton all on his own in that top lane. He's going to try and dive to the tower. Have they got enough time to catch up towards him, or will the tower take him down? He's going to go all the way to the Nexus turrets, I feel. He's going to go down! Turret kill. Nicely played by Reckless.
Well played by Reckless. He managed to kite it all the way out, and then he dies to a turret. I believe it's 8 seconds. You have to not take any damage from anyone, or is it 10 seconds to not take damage from anyone, and you actually give the kill to the turret instead. And now Source being aggressive.
Soaz going on towards Kerp. Oh, the ultimate comes out from Jeremy. Not going to land. The death sentence does, though. That's going to lock up Soaz. He has to use that dominance. He's going to try and get out of it. The rest of Fnatic come in. The explosive cast nearly drops Kurt where he stands. We do see Kevin now. He's joined the party. We saw what he could do in the last fight. They close on towards Yellow Star once again. Aranea has got that kick available if he can land her down in towards him, but he hasn't got anything to try and jump on them. And he is going to try and come around. He wants to get on towards the Cyanide. He can't get either side of them right now. He's desperately trying to chase this one through, and Millennium finally give up the pursuit.
But very risky play by Source here. He stayed up even though Reckless was already dead. He actually stayed all the way up towards the turret from Millennium, and they managed to catch him out and therefore just chase him 5v4. Very nice chase by Millennium, but also very nice escape by Fnatic.
Back and forth action in this game. Still 8 kills to 8, and Fnatic still with the lead in terms of turrets, but you can see now they are falling behind in gold, and that's a worrying sign because Millennium, of course, got another 2,000 gold to pick up when they do take some of those turrets down. Question is, can they do that?
And this is a different Millennium than we're used to. Normally they win the early game, and once they get to the team fights, things kind of fall apart for them. This time around though, they were a little bit behind early game, and now they actually managed to go even in gold. They picked up the last dragon, they got a very good team fight as well where they traded 4 for free. So all in all, they're actually doing really, really well.
And I should point out, while all that massive reckless chase, the Fnatic coming to help them out, Kraton was just at the top. He's back up there again. He's just continuing to farm. He's doing what an AD carry should be doing, getting himself very fed. Once he joins the team fights, that could be trouble for Fnatic.
That's the thing. Fnatic needs to be able to get to him backline-wise. They really only have the repel from Elise and also Renekton double dashing in. That is not enough because if you use your repel offensive as Elise, you're very open to just getting bursted down once you actually jump in.
They're trying to collapse onto Kerp here. They're going to come around the side from there. Nuda is in the bush. Yellowstar's not going to chase that one through. And the rest of Millennium do close out. And that's going to be a 5-man Fnatic pushing onto a 4-man Millennium on this tower right now. Kraton has backed off there. Kerp doing what he can, throwing down that pillar of ice, keeping them at bay.
And Fnatic is doing what the combo is good at, sieging turrets, poking away with Gragas, poking away with Caitlyn, and then just going for the turret whenever you have gotten someone from Millennium low and they can engage on you.
Kraton finally came in there, but again, like you mentioned, they just had that siege potential. Immediately, everybody backs away from this fight. And Millennium are wondering where Fnatic are going to go next. They haven't got good ward coverage in their own jungle.
No, they have all the wards actually placed further down the map, so they don't really see Fnatic moving around here. The next one for Fnatic could be the top turret. It's the only outer turret left. Otherwise, they have to move all the way up to the base from Millennium, and that's where it kind of gets scary because it's very easy to flank around you, especially with something like a Fizz.
Well, Peke is off on his own right now down that bottom lane. Dragon is up in 30 seconds, so I expect that will be the next focus target priority for both of these teams. And Fnatic just warding out, giving coverage to the Baron, because there is always a danger that you can have one goes for Dragon, one goes for Baron, and you get caught out either way. And as it stands, it seems Millennium, well, they had that full ward position down the river. That's going to give them the advantage on Dragon.
And notice the pings from Fnatic. They're spamming on this Baron because they want to make sure that if Millennium moves down to Dragon, they instantly go over there, already placed the pink ward, so they know it's not warded.
Well, let's see if they can get any picks on Fnatic. They have that ward in the mid lane, keeping the objective covered off. This will be a very quick Dragon, you've got to remember. So Fnatic, if they're going to do something here, they have to get involved early on. Jerry lashing out there is going to throw in. It's going to be picked up by Millennium. Now you can see the culling going down. Yellowstar's going to get focused on. Reckless at the back, just gets melted by Kerp. That's a big problem, but Kerp's going to go down as well. He can't play for Trickster away from this one. Peke is going to be the next line of focus. Kraton going to chase on one, but he belly dashes away there. Millennium a little bit split. They're not too sure which one target to choose for. Soaz trying to wrangle them into the corner. Cocoon will land on Jerry. The hook's not going to go through, and both teams will back away. Both carries down.
But these team fights, they are so even. It's always 1 for 1, 2 for 2. This time around though, Kerp, he managed to land his fish all the way to the backline and hit it onto Reckless and instantly bursted him down. Yes, he died for it because he already used his Trickster and his Sonias, but Millennium picked up the Dragon for it, so once again, they actually get out ahead.
They managed to keep the objectives in their favor. Blue buff actually is something that Peke hasn't had for a very long time. He'd be very interested in trying to get the next one. Of course, Kevin stole it away previously. Kraton once again in that top lane, keeping that CS going, starting to build up a bit of an advantage over Reckless.
And now, actually, if you notice the items here, Face of the Mountain is completed on Leona. It means that she can provide the shield onto whoever Fizz is jumping. This time around though, if Reckless get hit by the ultimate Fizz, he's more or less gonna die every single time because he's so squishy.
And you can see that's why he's gone for that red buff as well, wants to make sure he gets that extra bonus heal. So 2 heals going to be hitting him at the same time. Make sure he can save himself from that Kerp because we already saw how quick he can go down.
Yeah, exactly. And there's 3 options he has defensive-wise. He can go for Banshees to try and block some damage. He can go for QSS. If he uses it when the fish is on him, the fish actually just stays on the ground and he can move out of it and avoid the damage. Or he can go for the Guardian Angel simply to revive up again if he should get bursted down.
Well, Kerp, of course, with that Zhonya's Hourglass. Peke went the opposite direction, went straight for that damage. We'll see what he builds into next, whether it would be an Abyssal Scepter. I'm wondering whether he's going to go that route since he opts up against a high burst potential of Kerp, because he almost certainly will be the focus. It'll be either Peke or Reckless they want to take down as quick as possible. let's have a look at these top laners. Because obviously Blade the Rune King's been completed a while back with Kevin. Both Spirit Visage also being completed. We do see Soaz. He has gone Bruiserish. He did get the Hydra. Oh, Talisman was used there, trying to catch on towards him. Not going to focus any target though.
It's a nice counter engage from Sana, just landing the stun as soon as the Talisman was popped, stopped everything from happening. If Kevin could have gotten closer, he could put up the pillar. But notice Fnatic now, they're going for this top turret.
They're rushing straight in towards it, and immediately everybody from Millennium quickly recalling, because this is going to be an exposed inhibitor. It's going to be Soaz and Peke both on there. Only just recalling now. They're going to get a good chunk of damage on this. Now we see Reckless. He's beating it down as well. Peke going to use that explosive cast and keep them away. They've taken the inhibitor turret. Great positional advantage. RNA tries to go in. He only manages to land the kick on the Cyanide there. Quickly blown backwards. Kirk's going to get focused. Reckless just doing damage at the side there. Doesn't manage to take him. Zhonya's hourglass was enough to keep him at bay. Soaz gets taken down. Cyanide gets taken down. Now Kevin again in amongst the team doing damage. All the barrel rolls back there. Kratos making sure he doesn't run into a pillar of ice. Going to lock up Yellowstar. He's going to get caught out there. Try and turn it back around on towards Peke. The hook on Reckless. They're going to follow through. The flake comes through. Brilliant. Kratos off the side. He's just taking them down one by one. A triple kill comes from Kratos. But what a setup from J-Ree.
So once again, Aranir, in the start of the whole fight, he goes into the backline and everyone from Fnatic is turning around trying to kill him. This means the rest of Millennium can join in the fight fairly safe. Notice how we started here again. We have the home guard Aranir going in. Rest of Fnatic turns to him. We have 4 people killing him this time around. Also, Peke is using his ultimate to knock him back into them once again. This means, oh, he actually hits Curb as well. Very nice ultimate. Curb is almost going to die from this one, but due to Sonya's and due to his trickster afterwards, he's able to survive. This means now Kevin, he joins the fight once again. Nobody's here to burst him down. He's so tanky. And meanwhile, we're watching this replay. The Baron just being picked up by Millennium. And notice right here. Notice J-Ree. This is a Mad Life hook. He's landing straight on to Reckless. Boom. There you go. And Kratos can come back in and they can manage to pick up 3 kills.
3-man play on that hook as well. Absolutely amazing stuff there. So, Millennium with the Baron buff. What do we make of this? What will happen here? Will Fnatic go for a 5-game losing streak? God help them if they do, because Millennium, well, they've been anchored at the bottom of the league and they've looked dreadful in some of their games, but this game right now, they are taking it to Fnatic.
They are really taking it to Fnatic, and actually, we talked about the Lee Sin picking up all the kills early. This actually meant he's been very, very tanky, and we see how much Fnatic has to invest in killing him every time he goes into the fight, which means once he's actually dead, the rest of Millennium can come in from behind, and the Fnatic without their ultimate can't really do anything to Kevin, and once again, they can't do much to Curve if he actually decides to get in.
RNA getting locked up down the bottom there, but they haven't really got the focus and the damage to go through him. RNA, by the way, I got a target, you know, the fact that he's been the one that's been throwing himself into the team, and he's been doing work. You know, it's over-aggressive sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But today, it seems to be working.
It works if you're this tanky, and Fnatic has to use so much on killing you. It doesn't even matter if he dies in his team fights, because the rest of the team can just, you know, finish everything up.
Well, we have the ward cheering army in the house today. They're happy every ward goes down. Remember, this is a Baron up Millennium. He's trying to get on towards Reckless. He does find him. Gets the kick on towards him. The rest of his team can't come in there. Uses that Radiant Omen. While the rest of Millennium, and he just safeguards away. Takes the Lantern. Safe and clear. They took the tower. Millennium hit and run.
I've never seen a guy throw himself into the backline this many times, and he doesn't even care if he dies. This time he managed to survive, and Millennium just pick up a tower for it. Every single time he does this, Millennium gets something.
See, now they need to rotate down. They're going to go down towards that bottom lane. Kerp is ready and waiting as well. Didn't fancy taking on 3 members. Dragon up in 5 seconds time. Millennium again with the timer on this one, taking all the objectives.
And they will get this one for free, because there's no reason for Fnatic to try and fight for it versus the Baron up Millennium. It is a lot of gold at this point. We're 35 minutes in. It's going to give, you know, quite a boost from Millennium, but this time around, Fnatic is pushing up, and Kirk, he's in the bot lane.
Yeah, he went down towards that bottom lane, realized the minions should be able to take it down. He's going to have to teleport back because Fnatic were trying to take some positional advantage. Yeah, the moment they get shepherded away by the rest of Millennium, he decides to cancel that teleport. Oh,
need to be careful.
You are deep in dangerous trouble here. Quickly safeguards the rest of his team. They saw Yellowstar really wanted to start the fight there.
It was a very nice move though. They moved down towards Curb, so if something should have happened, he would have been able to come up and join the fight. Meanwhile though, he's just pushing this top bot lane all the time.
Still 60 seconds on this Baron buff. It's Curb going to be doing work. The rest of Millennium come around. Pillar of Ice being used to just block up Fnatic, and now they could try and turn this fight. They have taken down 3 turrets and a dragon with his Baron buff already. The culling coming out. Kraton going very aggressive. Gets caught in the cocoon. They're going to follow it through with the solar flare. Flashes out of that one. Soaz is going to get locked up. Soaz, the tankiest member, just gets annihilated by Kurt there. Kurt now on towards Peke. Sonya's hourglass going to be used. Kurt will be able to go down. He gets the playful trickster out. Oh, he's going to escape as well. I do not believe it. Kurt Peke gets locked in there. Cyanide tries to come in. Kurt just urging straight towards it. Wow! Millennium acing Fnatic on their own tower with the Baron buff just about to time out. Millennium just wrecking Fnatic.
And MVP Mikhails from Jerry straight onto Kraton when he got locked down by Leona, so he managed to, be able to dash out. And then again, the rest of Millennium, they come in. They're so tanky at this point, and Curve has so much damage that there's nothing Fnatic can do to kill the front line.
Millennium take down Fnatic in week 5. What a turnabout result this is. And Fnatic, my God, they're on a 5-game losing streak now. This is not good times. Millennium overjoyed with that victory. And Aranea, love him or hate him, he was flinging himself into those fights.
And again, due to the early kills he got the early Randuins, he was so tanky. Fnatic couldn't kill him fast enough, so he could just keep doing this over and over. And it's actually the story of the game. Millennium, they got so tanky with their front line, and at the same time, you had the Fizz just doing so much burst damage, and also you had Kraton in the background just hammering away constantly. And also, the one hook from Jerry, it was my big play for sure.
Absolutely, I was about to say, you talk about the big plays, there was quite a few in there. The Jerry hook followed by the flay. You've got Aranea flinging himself into the teams, creating situations. Fantastic play from Millennium, and finally, may have found the mold, maybe found what they need to do. And we talked about it top of show, we talked about it yesterday, Curb on Assassins, it's something that has to happen. And it's Lee Sin for Aranea. It's a champion that works for him.
Yeah, Lee Sin is always his fallback champion whenever, things are going wrong for Millennium. And this time around, he had some very good ganks early. He constantly, punished Source in the top lane when he was overextending after the Fnatic actually took the turret. And he got some, early lead from there. And then he managed to steal the dragon as well in the team fight. So he actually, on Lee Sin, made a lot of crucial plays for this game. And then we just gotta give credit to Millennium for actually team fighting really, really well. This was the first time in many games we've really seen them win the game through team fights.
And today is the day of supports, ladies and gentlemen. Thresh.
Yes.
Mixer in the previous game went 0-0-15 or something along that lines. J-Reed's just gone 1-1-15 on Thresh. The supports really have seemed to pick this champion up. Is that where you stop, buddy?
Yeah, it is. I couldn't follow the rest of the supports. I, only had the Nami. You remember
That is very true. You're very good on the Nami.
No, but all in all, supports are able to carry games. That's what we have to agree on. Thresh is one of the supports where you can really make the big plays. Leona can do the same. Annie can do the same.
Vander can do the same.
Vander can also do the same, yeah.
He's just champion of his own right now,
He's his own champion. However, these supports you can make plays on, they are the popular ones. And every single support in Europe are playing them, and everyone is actually doing well.
Oh, fantastic match, and Millennium taking down Fnatic. Shocking everyone here, I feel. We're going to recall for a brief moment, but when we return, Shox and Quickshot will be speaking with Millennium's Aranea to see how he created those plays. And then, of course, it is Copenhagen Wolves looking to dig their claws into the first place for Roccat. Stay with us. The culling coming out, Kraton going very aggressive, gets caught in the cocoon, they're going to follow it through with the solar flare, flashes out of that one, Soaz is going to get locked up, Soaz, the tankiest member, just gets annihilated by Kurt there, Kurt now on towards Peke, Sonya's hourglass going to be used, Kurt will be able to go down, he gets the playful trickster out, he's going to escape as well, I do not believe it, Kurt Peke gets locked in there, Cyanide tries to come in, Kurt just urging straight towards it, wow, Millennium acing Fnatic on their own.